In the Western world, death is a somber affair. It is met with hushed tones, dark clothing, and the quiet sorrow of grief. It is a final goodbye, a departure into an unknown land from which no one returns. But what if there was a culture that treated death not as an ending, but as a homecoming? A culture that, for 2 days every year, rolled out a vibrant, colorful carpet to welcome the souls of their departed back to the world of the living. This is not a story of ghosts or ghouls. This is a story of love, memory, and a joyous reunion. This is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Welcome to Veiled Traditions. Today we journey to Mexico to witness a tradition so beautiful and profound. It has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. For 48 hours, the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead thins, and families gather not to mourn but to feast, sing, and dance with the spirits of their ancestors. We will explore the ancient origins of this festival, decode the rich symbolism of its altars, and understand why skeletons and skulls are not figures of terror, but symbols of life. To join our community of explorers on this journey and many more, be sure to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. Let's uncover the truth behind one of the world's most misunderstood and beautiful traditions. To truly understand Dia de los Muertos, we must first understand what it is not. It is not Mexican Halloween. While they occur at a similar time of year and share some superficial aesthetics like skulls and skeletons, their foundations are worlds apart. Halloween is born from pagan and Celtic traditions, often focused on warding off evil spirits with costumes and scary faces. Dia de los Muertos, however, is a heartfelt and sincere welcome to the spirits. There is no fear, only love and remembrance. Its roots run far deeper than any modern holiday, stretching back thousands of years to the indigenous peoples of Mesoamerica, most notably the Aztecs. The Aztecs had a complex and cyclical view of the universe. For them, death was not an end, but simply another phase in the cosmic cycle. When a person died, their soul was believed to embark on a long and arduous journey through the 9 levels of the underworld, known as Mictlan. It was a perilous trip that could take years to complete. The Aztecs held rituals to honor the dead and to aid them on their journey. One of the most important of these was a month-long festival dedicated to the goddess Mictecacihuatl, the Lady of the Dead. She was the queen of Mictlan, ruling over the underworld alongside her husband. This festival was a time to honor the deceased, to leave offerings for them, and to celebrate the eternal cycle of life and death. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century, they brought with them Catholicism and a starkly different view of death, a binary world of heaven and hell, where the dead were to be mourned and prayed for, not celebrated with. The Spanish tried to eradicate the indigenous traditions, viewing them as barbaric and pagan. But the roots of these rituals were too deep to be pulled. Instead of disappearing, the tradition adapted. It performed an act of brilliant cultural syncretism. The month-long festival was shortened and moved to coincide with the Catholic holidays of All Saints' Day on November 1st and All Souls' Day on November 2nd. Indigenous symbols blended with Catholic ones. The ancient Lady of the Dead found a new reflection in the images of Catholic saints. The vibrant celebration of ancestors was folded into a new religious calendar, ensuring its survival. What we see today as Dia de los Muertos is not a purely Aztec or a purely Spanish tradition, but a beautiful and resilient fusion of the two, a testament to a culture's refusal to let its most cherished beliefs die. This fusion is the key to understanding the layers of meaning in every part of the celebration. The heart of the entire Dia de los Muertos celebration is the ofrenda, or altar. This is not an altar for worship, but a personal invitation, a vibrant welcome mat for the spirits of the dead. Families build these ofrendas in their homes, in public squares, and most importantly, at the grave sites of their loved ones. Each one is a deeply personal work of art, laden with objects and symbols designed to delight, guide, and nourish the visiting souls. The ofrenda is typically built on multiple levels. 2 levels might represent heaven and earth, while 3 levels could represent heaven, earth, and the underworld. A 7-level ofrenda is the most elaborate, symbolizing the 7 stages the soul must cross to reach its final resting place. Every single item placed upon the ofrenda has a profound purpose, a role to play in this spiritual reunion. First, the 4 essential elements of nature must be present. Water is left in a pitcher, so the spirits can quench their thirst after their long journey from the other side. The fruit of the earth is represented by food, especially the seasonal bounty. Wind is represented by papel picado, brightly colored and intricately cut tissue paper banners that dance with the slightest breeze, signaling the arrival of the souls. And finally, fire is present in the form of candles and copal incense. Each candle lit represents a departed soul, and the light is believed to guide them home. The smoke from the copal, an aromatic tree resin used in rituals since Aztec times, is thought to purify the space and carry prayers to the heavens. The centerpiece of the ofrenda is always a photograph of the deceased person being honored. This is the focal point, a visual reminder of who is being welcomed home. Around it, the family places a collection of the ancestors' favorite things, a curated feast for the senses and the soul. Their favorite meal is cooked and served, steaming hot, because it's believed the spirits consume the aroma and essence of the food. A bottle of their preferred tequila, a glass of beer, or a cup of hot atole might be set out, a pack of their favorite cigarettes, a deck of cards they used to play with, a piece of clothing, anything that brought them joy in life, is placed on the altar to make them feel welcomed and cherished. No ofrenda is complete without skulls and skeletons. To the outsider, these symbols of death can seem macabre or frightening. But within the world of Dia de los Muertos, their meaning is transformed. They are not symbols of death, but of rebirth and the continuation of life. The most famous are the calaveras de azúcar, or sugar skulls. These brightly decorated skulls, often with the name of a departed loved one written on the forehead, are whimsical and joyful. They are given as gifts to both the living and the dead, a playful wink at mortality, a reminder that death is not something to be feared, but a sweet and inevitable part of life's journey. Alongside the skulls are the calacas, stylized and often comical skeletons depicted as being full of life. You might see calacas dressed as musicians, doctors, brides, or politicians. They are shown dancing, singing, and enjoying the activities they loved in life. This artistic tradition serves a powerful purpose. It demystifies death. It portrays the dead not as sorrowful ghosts, but as active and happy participants in the celebration, just as they were in life. It's a joyful and satirical take on the great equalizer that is death. Perhaps the most visually stunning element of the entire festival is the cempasúchil, the Mexican marigold. Its name comes from the Nahuatl language of the Aztecs and means flower of 20 petals. During Dia de los Muertos, these vibrant, pungent orange and yellow flowers are everywhere. It's believed that their bright color and strong scent act as a spiritual beacon, creating a clear path that guides the souls of the dead from the cemetery to their families' ofrenda. Families will create long trails of marigold petals, leading from the street, through the door and directly to the altar, ensuring their loved ones don't lose their way. Finally, a special bread is baked only during this time of year, pan de muerto, or bread of the dead. This sweet, soft bread is often decorated with bone-shaped pieces of dough and dusted with sugar. It represents the soil and the bones of the deceased, and is a delicious offering for both the spirits and the living, who will feast in their honor. Every element of the ofrenda works in harmony, creating a multi-sensory map to guide the spirits home, and a feast to welcome them upon arrival. The celebration unfolds over 2 main days. The night of October 31st marks the beginning, as families put the finishing touches on their ofrendas. At midnight, the gates of heaven are believed to open. November 1st is known as Dia de los Inocentes, the Day of the Innocents, or Dia de los Angelitos, the Day of the Little Angels. This day is dedicated to welcoming the spirits of all deceased children. The ofrendas are adorned with the children's favorite toys, candies, and miniature versions of their favorite foods. The atmosphere is tender, sweet, and filled with a gentle sense of nostalgia. Then, on November 2nd, the main event, Dia de los Difuntos or Dia de los Muertos, takes place. This is the day for the spirits of the adults to return. The celebration moves from the private homes to the public sphere, and most importantly, to the cemeteries. This is where the true spirit of the festival comes alive. Families spend the entire day and often the entire night at the graveyard. They clean the tombs of their loved ones, decorating them with candles, elaborate arches of marigolds, and offerings. But this is not a somber vigil. It is a vibrant and lively family reunion. People bring picnic baskets filled with food and drink. They bring portable radios or hire mariachi bands to play the favorite songs of the deceased. Families sit on blankets, sharing stories and memories of their ancestors, laughing and feasting. They are not visiting a place of sadness. They are visiting the temporary home of their loved ones, and they have come to throw them a party. The cemetery for this one night is transformed from a place of quiet grief into the most lively spot in town, illuminated by thousands of candles, filled with the sounds of music and conversation, and overflowing with the scent of copal and marigolds. It is a beautiful and surreal scene, a powerful testament to the belief that the people we love are never truly gone, as long as we remember them. Beyond the intimate family gatherings in homes and cemeteries, Dia de los Muertos has also evolved to include large-scale public celebrations. In major cities like Mexico City, Oaxaca, and Pátzcuaro, grand parades fill the streets. These parades are a spectacular explosion of color and creativity. You see giant skeletal puppets or mojigangas dancing through the crowds. Marching bands play festive music. People of all ages paint their faces as elegant skulls, a tradition that has become a global symbol of the holiday. This face painting is often inspired by the most iconic figure of Dia de los Muertos, La Catrina. The image of an elegant, smiling female skeleton wearing a large, flamboyant European-style hat adorned with flowers is recognized worldwide. Many assume she is an ancient Aztec goddess, the modern representation of Mictecacihuatl. But her true origin is much more recent and far more political. La Catrina was born in the early 20th century from the pen of a brilliant satirical artist named José Guadalupe Posada. He created an etching called La Calavera Garbancera. It depicted a skeleton wearing a fancy French hat, but nothing else. Posada's artwork was a sharp social critique. It was aimed at the Mexican upper class of the time, who, in his view, were denying their own indigenous heritage and trying to imitate European aristocracy. Posada's message was simple and profound. No matter how rich you are, no matter what fancy European clothes you wear, underneath it all, you are still just a skeleton. Death is the ultimate equalizer. It was the legendary painter Diego Rivera, husband of Frida Kahlo, who took Posada's creation and gave her a full body and the name La Catrina in his famous mural, Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in Alameda Park. He painted her as a central figure, elegantly dressed, walking hand in hand with her creator, Posada. From that moment on, La Catrina became an enduring symbol of Mexican identity and the Dia de los Muertos philosophy, to face death with elegance, satire, and an understanding that it comes for us all. She is not a goddess to be worshipped, but a powerful cultural reminder to be true to oneself. If you appreciate how we uncover the hidden origins of traditions like La Catrina, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps our channel grow and allows us to produce more in-depth documentaries like this one. The philosophy that underpins the entire festival is a radical acceptance of the cyclical nature of life. It's a worldview that does not see death as the opposite of life, but as an integral part of it. Life is a dream, and only in death do we become truly awake. This sentiment is echoed in many of the popular sayings and poems associated with the holiday. There is a playful defiance in the face of mortality, a refusal to let the fear of death diminish the joy of living. This perspective is also deeply connected to the natural world, particularly the annual migration of the monarch butterfly. Every year in late October, millions of monarch butterflies arrive in Mexico, after an incredible journey from Canada and the US. Their arrival coincides perfectly with the beginning of the Dia de los Muertos festivities. For centuries, the indigenous people have believed that these butterflies are the souls of the ancestors, returning to Earth for their annual visit. The gentle flutter of their orange and black wings is seen as a tangible, living sign that the spirits have arrived, adding another layer of natural magic and beauty to the celebration. The global fascination with Dia de los Muertos has exploded in recent years. Hollywood films like Coco and Spectre have brought its stunning visuals to a massive international audience. While this has been wonderful for sharing the beauty of Mexican culture with the world, it also presents a challenge. The commercialization of the holiday can sometimes strip it of its deep personal and spiritual meaning, reducing it to a colorful aesthetic or a trendy costume party. The true essence of Dia de los Muertos is not in the giant parades or the trendy face paint, though these can be beautiful expressions of it. The true heart of the tradition lies in the quiet, intimate moments. A family gathered around an ofrenda sharing stories of a beloved grandmother, a musician playing a grandfather's favorite song at his tombstone under a canopy of stars. The simple act of placing a sugar skull with a child's name on it, not with sadness but with a smile. It is a powerful act of active remembrance. It's a way of saying that as long as we tell their stories, as long as we cook their favorite foods, as long as we say their names, the people we love are not truly gone. They live on in our memories and in our hearts, and once a year they come home for a party. This act of remembrance is not a passive one. It is a dynamic and creative process. Building the ofrenda requires thought, care, and a deep knowledge of family history. It compels the younger generation to ask questions. What was Grandma's favorite song? What brand of cigarettes did Uncle smoke? What dish did my great-grandfather love more than any other? In this way, the tradition becomes a living conduit for oral history, a way to pass down family stories and preserve the personalities of those who have passed. It ensures that ancestors are not just names on a family tree, but vivid, multi-dimensional characters who continue to have a presence in the family's life. The food of Dia de los Muertos is a story in itself. It is a feast designed for the dead but enjoyed by the living. Dishes are often complex and labor-intensive, like mole, a rich sauce that can have dozens of ingredients and take days to prepare. The effort involved is part of the offering, a demonstration of love and dedication. Families cook together, filling the house with aromas that are meant to awaken the senses of the visiting spirits. When the family later partakes in the feast, they do so in a spirit of communion, sharing a meal with their ancestors. It is a deeply social and spiritual act, binding the family together across the generations. Let's consider the contrast with other cultural traditions surrounding death. Many cultures maintain a strict separation between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Cemeteries are often seen as places of quiet contemplation or even fear, to be visited on somber occasions. The Dia de los Muertos tradition radically breaks down this barrier. The cemetery becomes a place of joy, light, and community. By bringing the party to the graveyard, the culture makes a powerful statement. Our relationship with our loved ones does not end with their death. It simply changes. We can still share a meal with them, sing to them, and spend the night with them. This continuous relationship provides a profound sense of comfort and continuity. The tradition also offers a unique and healthy way to process grief. Instead of suppressing sorrow or treating death as a taboo subject, Dia de los Muertos provides a dedicated, structured time to engage with it openly. It allows people to feel a spectrum of emotions: the sadness of loss, the joy of remembrance, the nostalgia of shared memories, and the spiritual comfort of reunion. It creates a space where it is safe and normal to talk to the dead, to laugh about their quirks, and to cry without shame. By externalizing these emotions in a communal, celebratory context, the tradition helps to transform grief from a heavy burden into a life-affirming act of love. In its beautiful, vibrant, and unflinching embrace of mortality, Dia de los Muertos teaches a universal lesson. It reminds us that life is precious precisely because it is finite. It encourages us to live vividly, so that when our time comes, we too will be remembered with joy and celebration. It shows us that love is stronger than death, and that memory is the bridge that connects the worlds. As the thousands of candles burn down in the cemeteries of Mexico, and the scent of copal and marigolds fades with the rising sun, the souls of the ancestors begin their journey back to the underworld, nourished and content. They leave behind a living community that has been renewed, their bonds with each other and with their past strengthened. The ofrendas are dismantled, the sugar skulls are eaten, but the memories remain, vibrant and alive, waiting for next year's reunion. The veil between the worlds may thicken once more, but the knowledge that it can be parted, even for a short while, leaves a lasting impression of hope and continuity. The dead are not lost. They are simply waiting for us to set the table and light a candle for their return. What do you think of this unique approach to death and remembrance? Is there a tradition in your own culture for honoring ancestors? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We believe that by sharing our traditions, we discover our shared humanity. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart and soul of Mexico. To ensure you don't miss our next exploration of the world's most hidden customs, make sure you are subscribed to Veiled Traditions. Until next time, keep celebrating the lives that shaped us, and keep exploring the history that remained untold.